December Bosnita etwaso Junsia won fempemie no ni eduonu enaimu na enosia kasebo enemra so ye de besomo e wo Diamond Television so wo maimu sam ena things so makudo so sam ya boabo no emre aso so ye de ebesomo na ene enumre kasebo no ensama ebedi mu akutine bi ene se President elect John Dramani Mahama e de sembi abetudwa wo twemu se potential appointees na no wa onye wa den se gubeye adwuma asomo manga ne diado mejin to mukra
free SHS policy no e ade a yentwamu enne anase watchna way every president elect John Dramani Mahama ho
suhum abatwo empeswa so NDC for ho no wo mo say parliamentary results no wo mo njintu enne ne watchna ye de ho sam ebebre
Gomwa Central MP ene ono so akasa se ensensem wa yekoso se we twahwe idina kwakopiem ewo ayasabia no nokrebia enim
ye ne nsam ahudo bi ene ne nyuri ya bobo no ye de baba somo ewo Diamond Kase so asedano enkoma Diamond Grand Real Estate Diamond Grand Travel so o pasa se project ye di bronya ye promotion ye run promotion discounted prices the bomb se kaya ya tutu se fufu Diamond Grand Travel and Diamond Grand Real Estate se bra pasika kuma di bra ever the one plot of land no pay we now pay after Diamond Grand Travel and so ma point to encounter se biara pabedan ubeshe ai bra kama edia ma na afenya abeda ho bibiero peso kwan e kama na ne akoya jima wose bra na wonye wa point to encounter se nyina emfa ma wo pe woni tra kwan so di 0552 4873885
Say that fabrics and so a frefra was a fabric no dear air na air for ne dear. Well, my Ghana ha nine crying had the winya ne baby say as that fabric. I was a bronya wakofa near my baby at the bar in Tiboro Makache. No more near my air fabric me the Eddie Bronya. I bet me from so number C so 0244792902.
Light Enterprise and anyway, me cost one and bow kaya say what is spare parts a papa abba and kanka in Kanya, dear wow to the will say and Kanya Hajuma and what headlights, so lights, wanted, really a speckled car, Emma car, piano. The lights say bring you or the biaba, not just a whooping and discount party offer the lights at Journey set, who found a number on our Diamond Television. Fred Light, that was 0247888591. And up on the trap line, that was a year or one kind. I was so kind. City Light Junction,
Bronya Trinity DNS ye be pamunta de akese e de akwa sorry na wopo bi a obetimi adwudwa stars a efe pa obeyi awemu a jesa awemu osre ho so na be paya ene obepai e de ama pa de ene na Modash closet re de tra kwan e wo Amasaman station ho na betimi afrom e wo number C so 0243752888
I just lay umpire was with dear na ya we see I pasan was bronya de enfem gwemu Wababwa ama wedia ayefe eno tin hwehwe ha just lay empire na won bo na wedia no enye fedie papa afenzi wakomodi hu hia wedia papa na wo collagen wo pe eye nyama bebie bi ya ko wakomodi eye into asodia eye hwehwe haja islam echapai na ombo ha just lay empire owo la yela pass abeka kwanya so ni total police station no energy station no brand no e was 0248045224
Afia tuye de na ese bronya ye bedi adini ye pa an ubenya biscuit ne tofe emo anwa abroche nioma chese wudidi bronya ubedi ni ye pa de wunya ne bebia se Danley Groceries se emo ye perfume a wonu ya ese tuhwan kasama ho se bronya wadi adini ye na ese wunya ne bebia se ehonko abetimi afrom e wo number C so 0246166743.
Alright, now yeah, that's so Danan suitcases say Bronya ye airpay I over vacation, over to pay over cocoa and for bag yakeke. Brother Nan suitcases now your mouth bags a yepe. If you saw now worry, whoop a bags, a papa dear for year padia, which are the Nan suitcases in track of them affordable and 9 suitcases. And also know when they track by our new Palace shopping mall first floor. Shop number 113. Brother Nan, I was 0552 070567.
Bronya na esi ebeton kwala ntade bronya ntade mpaboa socks ese bibibia fa kwala ho de ene Americanfo John Italian Enterprise no ade Italian Enterprise de wo se emofra ne ma bia wo pese woto e de ma oba bronya watete se enyoma no so kra se hu ahwene cha kwan e wo Tudu station honoma ana betimi from e wo number C so 0270966087.
Alright, so yeah, so about Mestevia collections about the inside papa a bedroom inside na just 4 year papa and institution Mestevia collections a shop by Accra UTC or Ben Lava and our friend 0246884156.
Bafira deals so Frefra was a bronya wo per phone e surprise say we girlfriend now can't me bia na se fo ani enkyere ba bia se Bafira deals no de se wo pe earpiece ye papa phones chargers phone accessories bia wo hwe bia de enkran ha fo ani enkyere ba bia nya se ebebu ade ya pa so akoto phone na se ade be chi so a enso hwe Bafira e wo circle ana betimi from e wo number so 0270966087.
Maybe I said that so my Dubois fashion jewelry say whoop koma dia empo say 2 years plan egusu eche ukomo dia upetimi edware so you fit bebreni na egusu eche ukomo dia hwehwe Dubois fashion jewelry na wo ma obi enhye o me twa kwan e wo Makola shopping mall or shop number FM091 first floor honoma and our friend o 0205625475.
Ne kra des ya de alata abagana traditional wear nyina fie famous say wo pe traditional wear wo sha ye beje ozu igwe na se bigugu nsa na bigugu komu dia wonya ne ba bia say famous wo mecha akwa e wo new Makola shopping mall inside kwa
Step Frame Enterprise say bronya yi ebe wo be pama dia wo purchase wo laser papa ye fe kenteni bibia wo pe bia laser no de ye fe dia I just Step Frame Enterprise so Step Frame Enterprise e shop my e wo a flower station and our friend 0244665271 and you make way and ye ke ka ho ajarum and you way wo mo e bo ye chi do ma ye de dan won kase e ba besom akekan fo e me ma wo si ponya me ni aba
efia from poma
ye ba dane ye ho akoje aboafo nkrato afa ye ba ye be check kase bo no ase. For your son will be Biara Apava Biom Diamond Cassier and our Nugusla Wushe Ape Cassiaboni Chomu Eni. President elect John Dramani Mahama Eden Sembi Abetuja Ochomu said Yatu Aba Egino Ebieno Ayadia Bobodona Nim say Obe appointed more as a year minister sending Kahuna way and what they send the Abetuja Ochomu said some for phoning in an so 1 year wide drain so over sumo mind gun and I was to me year they are appointed from men to cross a Uber edge man what is some way to Jack while Bra will copy assembly board and ask here as for it.
I cried unto God and brought my supplications to the Almighty, and He responded with bountiful blessings and success. And for that, I give Him thanks. This victory can only be divine. God assured me in my heart that I knew. He spoke to me and said that he will bless me with success in this election. But I did not know that the blessing was going to be so bountiful and that the victory was going to be so massive and so dramatic that I give him all the thanks and blessing for what he has done, not only for me, but for the whole of Ghana. He has done good for Ghana because he has restored the sovereignty and the power of the people of Ghana. We've practiced democracy since 1992. With time, the political elite, and I'll say including myself, all of us who God has given the opportunity to lead this country, we have grown in arrogance and selfishness, and we have believed that the power that we wielded over the people belonged to us, ourselves, and did not recognize that it was God who gave it to us temporarily. So God has made us know that power belongs to the people. It should serve as a lesson to those of us coming into government that the same stick that Techi has been beating with, Ghanaian people are reserving it for people who are considering themselves for various positions. And I just want to warn them, it's not going to be a walk in the park. If you are not prepared to work and serve the people of Ghana diligently and modestly and with humility, then don't come. Just stay where you are. As Reverend Techi preached this morning, he said we must learn to give thanks in all things. And he gave us the breakdown of what the benefits of thanks are. And that is why I've announced that when I become president, I'll institute a National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving every year. Every year as a nation, we will take time off to pray and thank God. And I'm going to be a significant part of that Thanksgiving.
Now, President-elect John Dramani Mahama NNA wakasa se free senior high school policy no eya dia yentwamu enne wo kina so eka ho se na nipa bebre ekeka se ye betwam ni ade no nokra bia enim tie twamu.
Fits into two programs that we have. The National Apprenticeship Program, which would allow master craftsmen to train apprentices and give them the manual skills that they need to be able to either set up their own businesses or go into the world of work. So that is one aspect of it. We also have the intention to expand technical and vocational education training. And government is not going to be able to do it alone. We need a private sector like people like her to come on board. Because if we train skilled labor, people who can use their hands to work, if you look at the direction in which business is going, they're looking more for not grammar school kinds of people, not more people who have done humanities. There's an oversubscription of people who have degrees in humanities, including masters and PhDs. If you look at where business is going, it is going more for skilled labor, and so they need technicians, electricians, carpenters, skilled welders, and so on and so forth. And so if we're able to equip our young people with these skills, it will make it easier for them to be able to find work, both locally, but also externally. You know, the population in Asia and Europe is aging, and so they have a deficit of skilled manpower. And so several countries are signing agreements where young Africans who are well skilled can go and work for fixed contracts, say 5 years, and come back. Germany and Kenya recently signed an agreement to send skilled technicians to Germany to go and work. We're willing to sign those kinds of contracts with other countries.
When it comes to education, a lot of young people thought maybe the election could have even gone the other way because of free education. But at the same time, they are worried that this program where a lot of young people are benefiting, or the parents are afraid that once you get into office, you might scrap that.
Free SHS has come to stay, and it is not going anywhere. nobody is going to scrap free SHS. What was said was political talk, and it was just political gimmickry. Free SHS is not going anywhere. We're going to maintain the policy. What we're going to do is to get dedicated funding for it so that it is better resourced than it is currently. There's a lot of waste in the system. We're going to help to make it more efficient so that the teachers, the parents, and the students get the best out of the free SHS. We're going to look at the basic school level too. Because we are focused on free SHS, we are abandoning the basic level. And so the basic level is becoming a major problem. 1.3 million pupils at the basic level do not have furniture. They don't have tables and chairs to sit on. They lie on their stomachs in the classroom or sit on cement blocks. And that's because all our focus has been on the secondary school level. So we're going to hold a national education forum. And that forum is going to bring all the stakeholders together. And we're going to take a look at the whole education value chain. And we're going to come, and by consensus, all of us, it's non-partisan, everybody of every walk of life who has a stake in education is going to be at that conference. And we're going to take important decisions on how to reform our education so that the children get better quality. And so that's what we're going to look at. But the thing about me coming and scrapping free SHS was just political gimmickry by the MPP. Free SHS has come to stay. We're going to make it better. We're going to improve the quality of the food for the children.
Here of Galamsey.
Yeah.
What do you say about it? How are you going to... we had protests last year, and previously there's been a lot of agitation.
When this government came, they passed an LI which allowed entry into forest reserves to mine. And since the last 8 years, 37 forest reserves have been, there have been incursions into 37 forest reserves. Some have been almost completely destroyed. And so the first thing is to stop mining in forest reserves. And so we're going to work with the Minerals Commission and the Environmental Protection Agency to see how we implement that.
Well, I think it's gone well. As usual, it's been cordial. We have ironed out critical issues. First of all, the scope of the full transition team was laid out today. Beyond the 3 subcommittees that were inaugurated the last time, other committees have been formed on various thematic areas. And they'll be getting to work immediately. They've been populated. Provision has been made for support from technical persons, both on the government side and on the NDC side. So we expect that they will get to work immediately. We have received both hard and soft copies of the handing over notes. So we'll be looking through them in the coming days, and it will inform the work that the various committees do. So it's been quite fruitful, and we hope to get to work immediately to get this over and done with. There's no issue of a budget. We have made it clear that we are not going to burden the states with any amount whatsoever regarding budgets. The most we will need is office space and some support staff, that's all. So there's no issue of a budget.
Because we make it appear as if some of these processes just come out of the blue. It is not every institution who will even have the financial clearance to embark on these recruitments. And I'm saying these are public exercises, and publications on your respective media houses and online portals will reflect the narrative as I am putting it out today, and nothing new. If there is any evidence to the contrary of people being recruited without financial clearance, without due process, let us give specific instances and mention names. Not that because all of a sudden there is a change in government, we need to change the narrative and create some stories to further denigrate and defame some individuals for what they have not done.
Some contracts that some parastatals are trying to sign off at the last minute. That will commit government, the new government, even before it has come into office. And so it's something that we've raised a signal about. And it's my hope that the Joint Transitional Team would take a look at it and deal with it. There are also reports of last minute mass recruitments into all the agencies, which will be a liability on the new government. And so that's something we've asked them to take up at the transitional team meeting and see how we can deal with those issues.
Abisafo ye to akase bone so dia na ye ko abato nsensem a ekoso ewo man Ghana no enei enam so ama NPP amanyoko no so e dia desrede atu isi anim se wo momode afanto dwa se 13 constituency seat na ensem aba ho no obi bia fa na konya ento no enkopem se ohawa abani nyina ye beso ano.
The New Patriotic Party and adequate and more and central for no issue. The tenting and in the titi and they say your constituencies be ha MPP based on Yayo coalition and Yaye near Dimkunim Ewoho and after so P-Sita Yakotwa by electoral commission Edema political parties no Yakikani Nyabom no near Dimkunim over constituencies ni nyina baby et say Ablekumanov Oshe vosa MPP nya our Ablekumanov aye 34,613 na NDC candidates esu nya 34,199 HSA ye candidate friend honorable Nana Equia Uswefi no Edinkunim with 414 votes. So we Ablekumanov everywhere. Over Tema Central so we share your results are near quality based on P-Sita electoral commission na the Maya. Who said your candidate a year forcing in 18,870 and our NDC candidate no in 18,115. Ufri Ablekuma North now by Okaikwe Central and also Yera Patrick Wama our Yemra Shebedjanu ho and also Okoletin the results in area. Obo said MPP candidate no 20,229. NDC candidate ninya 18,783. To share vote difference na wo na 1,446 vote difference. Na ka 3 polling stations and say kan NDC for na amping. Just all kind of 3 polling station votes no crabuma still your candidate and Edin Kunim ewo ho. Oba bebe to say Domin Kwabenya also so NDC for no 2 trasem and the basabase ko ho no. Omantima amboa makolation na ese koso Domin Kwabenya and also so ankoso ewo ho. Oba bebe to say for north constituency o kan ye P-Sita de o nyina boma ye candidate eye Nanajima Eric Nanajima Prempe enya 20,353 as against NDC candidate we now 20,232. To shema vote difference no 121 vote difference. Oba bebe to say Obwas East MPP near Dimkunim ho. Vote MPP candidate now 18,558 as against NDC candidate we now 18,539. And no electoral commission will be via no quality results na we. Now so NDC for macho man for to try some ho e share electoral commission your candidate say results MPP enya no your MPP dey man this never NDC dey MPP how dey say can to esi so say obewu na so be parliament dey na ope and omutintin your candidate nsa o ye no free afa north south west and so your candidate o share votes are na 16,058 and NDC candidate now 16,000 your candidate now 16,058 and NDC candidate now 15,372 and no share vote margin the BTN this now there is 686 votes and so NDC for 2 transams and Omama electoral commission and quality results na we over Techiman South so honorable Martin Kokweje Mensa Kosa no Dimkunim or South constituency wo votes are near quality unya 46,468 as against NDC candidate unya 43,365 votes and so said the NDC 4 year to try some or Kaikwe Central Afano Southwest and Afano South Afano North no saa no de call her Techiman South intimin kan we in Sawa Adroje so the same issue and the course so e wo ho and the crowd there said the area friend market majority leader kan no you could share what Tesano na ka yes electoral commission etwa so meeting kan we NDC the patapasem to try some saa massa exercise no am yan kwanko wi now about our win constituency also so electoral commission start to can results no yeah sure what mean say figures be what polling station go ha o ma than figures no and no so yeah call electoral commission say o honor results no so ese moment you call as a party so egusu aye hwehwem now for constituency be to say to whom Fantia North any Akwatia enam se na bambo eni sa constituency ho no a o sa de call region bambo ho no ye de call Tesano police training school ho no asundwe wo ho nti etimi quality ni nyina ye wie no ampa se de MPP ye kan ye di nkunim e osuhum Akwatia na Fantia North ye say baby aba bedru no ye say electoral commission say aka standing constituency sa yen kan wie ya ese wo hwe eme ka yes say you IGP you dampare o sheyebo say abato ebetu na ma sunjua abam na normal cost no nesa na yehu no say NDC timi de 2 million monsem na police gina ho police ntimi nya hwe na omo ye tutu asem ho ti yes say bambo BS or the electoral commission say be electoral commission ebetima ye omo adwuma wie no say bambo de farmer electoral commission no nya say adwuma obeti say NDC for kan on farmer say MPP yes ye wini enkoko commission on quality results in we and gazette here and ntibaka so be na say court ye nya nwe collation ni we na ojije say electoral commission collation sisi enti na frame and no ya da mu nyina amase
was ya for ya to akasia bono so dia na ye buso ye wo abat for monsense mu na we and yes to whom NGC amanu ko wo mu e dia to ne chita ko nyina enem se wo hwe him se isi ever declare parliamentary seat na e wo na so e be sin ne ya to abana na wo hwe aba etwem na so wo ti bia every isi for na wo tra enya dia isi ene won e di ne ye kra na wo say e ya ka 6 polling stations aka e ho e NDC for strongholds bank e say isi e kan ya mabo na wo ti e declare abana ya watching trend ye kra I don't know ya be kwa man so na ya ne maso do atwe enkomo wono NDC communicator and so I was to whom about to an first one so anything ya be kwa so na ya ne no e de komo na ye ko asem no senya e ko si na be bia e ko
CID boss oba bi o de bae omo ne o makase kwa bia so easy for declare number na wo na omo fujira so for declare yes ya prede empirant and ajo omo kuye nyina e wo dem ho yewu ya ne so the police wo bebre abetwa amankwa no na easy for no machia ye ma omo wona maaye na kire se dia jemensa akachire omo akachire police no so omo ye no eno a no ma ye se omo beye na camera no so kire se police ni utubi wra police room ho unni kwai se wra ho eye
ai e wo si afonya ye ko hwe ye press conference NGC amanu ko wo su hu e pre ya wo de ensem etu jana eye Maxwell do e wa homa no so no NDC communicator e wo su hu na pato en person ye ne no e beji komo na we si address nya asem no e koju hello do who wa homa no so ma ka ba e de Diamond Television no tia kase wo e do
ye na menua
Maxwell do be na ye nya ne etie se ye ensem bi e ko ko wo su hu abato en person no so a no e pa parliamentary results no e wo e be ne is declare results no e and it's the best that we put the book na you said ya dem no etie
yo samre mafasa kwanyai so Adam ase echia etie no asundue mu ara yekoto wie no foto abawie a ye wo bibia ye fra no pink sheet and ye adansidi a obiara ekita na de akọ coalition room.
Okay.
There were 165 branches in Sohum. You got to abayi the eco coalition room. You got Kanya Bana. NPPC say, onu de on kita pink sheet. And I say, ubondo. Sasa mi ye kan we
Hello.
Udo kita pink sheet. And ne ye ma a man tokwa o ye ebai. Na nyamisha Suhum police commander. And sorry say no. Sasa mi ye kan o baby and iti ye best stress say na ntokwa eguso kwaso Suhum man for you for no asore no yenhwe na yen ma asundwe mra na adenche yenko community center ne yen nyina ye mbom yenko kan aba no.
Okay. And so see and go senia asam no akodu no see and wo hwe senia e hwase na mutse NPP ni NDC bata bata ye bia e ma no humene so e hwase na net say boy mu
ma the matter on say omudi fi center eko Kofodia from Kofodia to Tesano police depot.
Okay.
Omukwa na yeti won say ye wo branch bi wo ho a problem e wo ho.
Okay.
Overvoting any who can akoso e wo some of the branches. Na per yesi instruction and as a gas no e say when there's overvoting you can say na yasa eden yasa to aba no foforo eni ti yanjintum na yen to aba no foforo ma mu jitu mo ye yeti ya ne say what one announce the wagwini ye we are seconds over 200 military and the police for Acacia electoral commissioner and the returning officer no say one announce and then you jitu mu say yeah young council baby na yen kwato aba no foforo eyima branches na be ka 6 branches 6 polling centers I say ye twem na yen kwato aba no foforo police for binom and yet police for nyina police for no binom and Suhum yisi and the returning officer amankwa omu bo mu ye kanana now say proto other MPP ano onu na we win. I say no. When you didn't do money ye because every vote must count. And the other thing we be fin e di ka it ye nra ma ye nyina ye tena se share ye ma yesi 24 hours.
Okay.
Ombra bonten na sa 6 police centers na all you try na overvoting akoso no yankoto aba no wo ho na for the yefa ni nyina mbo na den ye announce the worry the wadi nkunu na asuge nkoso e wo so senya sa dia de bia tro no ye de betwere.
Okay, sisi ano Max photos wa na wode sembi eba monte so say the pink sheet ayira na sisi ano wo wafo so e wo wa chese wo hwe nyeme na sisi ano ensam no sign na photos wa na ensam no the pink sheet mo sam no sign na akodu sisi a
yo ana asam na wa bisa no obi a the pink sheet ayira no oho no mo no na one yesi returning officer ye friend amankwa akoye kanana.
Okay.
Ana returning officer no e pass no back door e man the pink sheet ni di ana mo koye kanana.
Okay.
And the after the year before you see say for our pink sheet e branch aya buati bidin.
Okay. All right. Okay. Max yada se papa na ensam no so a ye kwoswa ye emu ye tiechire ni ye besra wo se wo so bi tiechire ma ye bibie ni a ye befra na wo so wo di afida ama yada se papa
Nyamisha mu nyina na mo let my vote count no ochina wo ye demonstration tete awo Suhum podium a enti mu nyina you are invited nyamisha mu bebre.
Yes yada se papa ehwefo nipa ye tene ka eye Maxwell Do eye NDC communication officer and no kwatsem wono ena ge kwatse ne nkana ensama ekoso e Suhum ni nyina ene se NDC ena bezo NPP parliamentary seat no results na ya dia wonyina wo hwenim se east be declare na se be sinem east end declare ye no Max ena twetwe
Ebusiafo ye to akase abone so dia na Deputy Minister of Interior awosaye Member of Parliament Emma Gomwa Central onwonyamfo na kwansa enenei wode atudwa se Someone a cost was a collapse. I'm yet not a hospital no and they look bia any.
When you miss super no ye, Obi and you are work on the hospital. I mean, by the hospital, me faint, she are nyam because me when yame no the Medina Gomwa Central na or the whole yame a mission. Obi and you will go to the mat to form or send them when yame. It's no Obi better there was in a year will collapse in the onde da na watching what to aban she nyam she nyam mi gina me na do me na hospital mi ti pom paim she nyam because baby a me finam na me de baby MP no na sebe tafrate na me gina gom me stress riska nti no obi a na adwen de me ko twa asubia no me pede me gina TV do se radio do da hi me ka kire gom afo de me tiapo papa me na me executive senior ye tiapo emi me tiapo me nda na asem ne sin nso krupo mfi menyi ase amma ma ntofom mi bodu fie mi didi mi gware na yakopon ma me da fefefe so mi gududa mi ko office mi ko ye me adwuma nti no me pede me ka che me hyegomu afobode me tiapo wonya gidi wo mi mu de mem da kakra kai se bibi wo ho no de me ye magomu amanya me wo ho min da me chiri magomu afo o san de gomu afo na wa che menyum nya
Ekumfi Traditional Council no and they were there the strategy the more temper and the former President-elect John Dramani Mahama said Senyakopon eya dom na se wo ba be mudia na bibia de sefata o man Ghana to ku e wo na no won fa wo bia de e ma de pepepe ma de nhwese we to aba ma me we ya nto aba ma me enti infrastructure bia de se wo man Ghana to ku bibia edi so wo wo ne wo de na wo fa mo bia pepepe.
The overwhelming endorsement by the people of Ghana justified the unwavering trust and confidence Ghanaians have reposed in you and your party as leader to reset the country to the path of economic freedom to improve the living conditions of all. Your dedication, Your Excellency, passion, and commitment to making a difference is truly commendable. As you embark on your new journey, we kindly encourage you to embrace teamwork, foster inclusivity, and promote the spirit of collaboration. We have strong confidence in you as you chart a new path that will improve the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian and make their lives better to justify the high level of confidence they have reposed in you and your party. We, the people of Egunfi, were plainly told that we were neglected because we did not vote for a particular parliamentary candidate during the 2020 period. However, we firmly believe that you and your government will not just show us respect, but will have a Egunfiman on your radar and give us the necessary development we need. Successor to our beloved son, the late Professor John Evans Atta Mills, we continue to recognize you as our own son, and we know that you will not fail us. As you step into this exciting chapter of your leadership, we wish you continued success, fulfillment, and joy in all your endeavors. Congratulations, and may the hands of the Almighty God the great divine and the supreme director, and the spirit of our ancestors be with you.
Municipal Chief Executive Emma Efutu Alhaji Kasum Zuburu NNA wakasa say NPP ni NDC tension a wo de ba o maimu efiri say yeto aba ewie ye ne yade a ha adwiri ye pint e be ya wonyai
ayenya kor na yemfanta fancy desi nechi na simpa onya ne tampapa mfra na simpa mpuntu na odo oban otumba na ye nyina ye ho ton ye gina hayi mo ankasa mo be testify de eba simpa ha akwan a wo hwa ka akwan a eyi oye ye MP Honorable Alexander Fenyumakin weyin na odoso but ibi nso wo hwa yenye na mesre de ye nyina ye be yakor na ya data aben ya obe nechi nti yenya buta boko wonfa akonfran no wonfa kita yewura mama nsem na la on point obi de wo me de osimesi akọ assembly ho de onhwe si bakro ni mumam na yeyina mbo a ye won a ye de babo ne say macho fo say ye badu yemfa ye machoism no yemfa mbo MC a obeyinim yemfa ye nyansa yemfa all that we have in terms of technique yemfa mbo na simpa onya ni tampapa mfra.
She is captured in Ghana Tourism Authority almost a affair for the year, and then it is part of beyond the return. So affair is more about tourism. Mini ba fo no nkwan mo ha nkwan ntumi yemen yeyi nkofo ba bi mi fi diaspora ba bi fi Accra Tema Kumasi Takoradi eba ebehwe nti edom ni nyina ba ha ebusi the local economy ni omo ton nyoma omo even the hotels for me no ka say hotels be bia ayema wo ko so pese o ye reservation ye ade ni ko ye ko hotels no mo say ayema ye ntumi nya from 30 day ko ye ntumi nya nti hospitality industry no e raising bars ne pubs na ade restaurants and nyina be nyiska because nkofo ba bi mu ba as we far as 29 na bebre aba nti no through tourism no ye project kuro essence project ye fence the masquerade essence boa local business essence create employment because that day no be how beton so bit ma employ nkofo nkoto nsu in no make account
during elections you know never be ebi mu a report say never be ankọ ye the best say e no be afa na tension say ebia nipa usu say oduna okodi boyi no ebia na nyon wa na wakwa attack innocent person it's the best say bogenya police just na cases be obia no report ama police na masa assist police to investigate say bia obeka wa say no obi asem no to wa awko afi investigate across you need to avail yourself na what say assume see any piece of you or na fi police so ayi court ye be pa ye dia ko ni aye prescription na simbaha akoso enya na sindie
woman Ghana ayadia Ghana mind ye so ejeje mu ye papa esan say cashew nuts ye processing sector no ayadia sector no ebu asika kudu Ghana ya shre $100,000 $100,000 million and then the Ghana ya shre ye papa a Ministry of Food and Agriculture and a wholesale
of difficulties in terms of improving their livelihoods, in terms of income, earning income, in terms of getting themselves employed, to be able to put food on the table. Very, very great challenge. And as people, as human beings, our main I think source of earnings you should either be employed or you can be self-employed, maybe as a farmer or as an entrepreneur engaged in some kind of business. But for disabled people, there are no opportunity to be able to get those opportunities to engage themselves, to free themselves. In fact, most times physically challenged people in Sierra Leone particularly, what they do is to go begging on the street.
I think the cashew sector is dominated in the processing part by women. I manage a factory that has 2,000 women. That has 2,000 employees, 95% of them are women. So the processing business is already dominated by women. My advice will be for the farmers, the production sector, where we don't have a lot of representation of women. The production is still male dominated because in Africa, you know, it's very difficult for women to have access to land. So that's been one of the handicaps for women.
And the state of processing plants in Ghana is nothing to write home about. Virtually all the processing plants have closed down, except a few that are producing few thousands. In fact, currently Ghana exports almost 95% of all its production as raw nuts, and it is not good for the industry. And the reason being that our processing capacity is now gone down, and our processors also don't have the needed finance to stock the nuts for the whole year, and therefore those farmers also have to sell to people who can buy and pay them, and that is the challenge the processors are facing. If the processors have finance, especially from the financial institutions that will support them, then they can process throughout the year. But if a processor taking a loan at 35, 45, 55%, it's no-go zone. It is nothing to write home about. That is what is really collapsing the industry. We don't have long-term finance for the processing sector, and that is a big challenge. We won't say we have been neglected, because all these years that we have been running, Ministry of Agriculture has supported us in the research, in the distribution, and in even the propagation. But if there's any place that has been regretted, it's from the financial institution. The financial institutions don't really understand the cashew sector, and for that matter, they are not making long-term finance available. If you give a trader a loan at 45% turnover 1 month, and you give that same loan to a processor turnover 1 year, the processing company will collapse. We have been engaging with the
Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and then they were makasa say, ensure rubber, toto eguru ensure mu enaya. Eko choki nsuo ma ese nsuo ntimi flow enye adwuma se ne ye wo se eye na ne omo eba be chekere kwan a ye be fa so edi nsuo rubber no aye bucket ene ne omo akese ebetimi aboa ye ewo ye fiefie.
Yes, I think you've seen this yourself. When you go to the Subrin River, I cited that as an example, you realize that the entire river surface is covered with plastics, and then some of these things will just end up in the oceans, and then in the ocean the whales and then other aquatic organisms may swallow them and then eventually join into the food chains. We assembled all the people who are generating the plastic, the sachet water producers. We brought them here, and then we also managed to get a resource person from one of the EPA staff in Agosto, Anthony Aqua, who is well versed in plastic issues. He has been able to use the plastic waste to produce laundry baskets and then litter bins. So we brought him down for him to train the people on how to use the plastic waste to produce some of these things. So this is the mandate of EPA to ensure that the environment is safe.
This plastic, I've been using sachet waters in the house, so I realized that for me to dump it into the environment, there's something I can do with it. That is how come I started. I started in 2019, yes, with some samples, and currently I realized that if I keep mine, I can use it. So for me to be able to do this, I started coming up with this. First I was using dustbins. I realized that the dustbins it's not strong enough, so let me change it and do something else. That's why I got into the flower pots and using metals to support. And I'm thinking that because of our current state, our recycling is poor. So it's difficult to get a lot of items, for example, the waste product.
Our attention to a whole lot of things, especially the fact that some of us didn't know the impact on the waste that we are introducing into the system. So now we will find proactive ways to ensure that whatever goes out, even if we don't get all, we try to get as much as we can.
There are so many things that we had not thought about it, but they have revealed it to us. They brought in some people to come and show us what they have been able to use their plastics for, so that we are now going to look at it from this perspective that if we cannot even use it, we can engage people to use it so that they can do things like the dustbin, the flower pots out of our waste.
Secondly, Takrade Metropolitan Assembly, and then they were more two and a mombia, and no ever boy in more proud, 1% per seven, one more able to two bra, one more a year in Rubone, Athens, one more when we did school, one hour, one to when you say, about any in your bonnet, our more a year, I will put some when you say, a yaja will move a two and a more on body see baby. Center, our SCD must have a friend in a senior video will make him usher when I brought with you at your mouth.
SCMA appreciate that adolescent is a period filled with questions, challenges, and crucial decisions that shape not just the individual life, but the fabric of our society. To this end, young people need safe, supportive space to learn, express themselves, and seek answers without fear of judgment. The center, therefore, have been provided with a clear vision to empower youth with the knowledge, resources, and guidance they need to make informed decisions about their health and lives.
Put the youth in the center, put the women at the center, at the top of every project, and you are topping and you are putting the future in your project. So for us from Palermo, I can say that we will find every way to support the project. We are a twin city. It means that apart this kind of specific project, we are together. A place like this help us to think about what in future can be possible.
We are very grateful because when I came to DRBNHFs, the adolescents here were getting pregnant like that. We are so happy that our adolescent welfare, our well-being will be great. There wouldn't be teenage pregnancy or adolescent pregnancy and all those things.
This will help the young ladies like me in this community to know more about the effect of teenage pregnancy, drug abuse, and other related adolescent challenges.
Now we have 3. Our aim is for the assembly to get about 10 of these youth-friendly health facility, and it will help us to address the youth challenge. Currently, under the project, as we all know, as part of the community education that we did, we have close to 7 young teenage girls who drop out of school, and as part of the project, we have been able to reintegrate them back to school. About 4 or 5 of them have gained admission into senior high school and now preparing to enter senior high school. So we are going to build upon the work that we have done so that we can help these young ones in the metropolis.
Ebusiafo ye to akase bone so dia na Pampaso Krokese Municipal Assembly Basic School ene ne wodi adesoro de to abayanim say wo momoden embeboa wo mo efise wo mo ni classroom on betna cry de asuade
2007 and I observe here said there's a huge gap here in terms of education. Kolane wa hanombe school I just say the next community which is some how many kilometers, about almost 5 kilometers away, and you know you share a block where I said the mom said they bear at least the younger ones no able to share addition say ewa and nyamia dom school no enyi abaya be kakra bia mom but they now need a JHS block. Currently they have a JHS but only primary for no classroom. They are running some kind of shift. And you know the whole idea is for us to provide an ultra-modern school for them, to give them access to a complete basic education from kindergarten to junior high school. And the project because even in the history of the foundation, I think this is an innovation of the schools that we have been building over the years, and we are hoping, sir, provide a good platform for future leaders to be educated in this school, and it also bring the communities together.
Challenge kesiapa postman is a decision an idea penifonu this say blue sky we see dan is a primary school and then preschool education. Nemom ye ko enim no ehun say ye fa GSS de emra it no omodi GSS e ba no ema essence no man no course no ema ye hu chire wo classroom is one of the big challenger ye wo it you partition the classroom ye chim se na be ya o se satan na classroom su kakra it no GHS1 ni GHS omodi 24 SMC ni PTA omo odin boy nti omodi plywood eden eche classroom no emaye itu no enu na ema addition course.
Ebusiafo aha ene brebe ma ye pan na ye de kasebo ni nyina aba na wie ye ansa na ye be kono ensema eji kasebo ni mu akutini bi ene se President elect John Dramani Mahama eye what the send atodwa wo kire mu se wona wo hwe nim nyina se ye be appoint omo e wona aba mu se wonye wa adwen se wo be ye adwuma na se wo be so man Ghana enji to kwa
SHS policy ade a ye ntwamu enne wo kina so e ka ho wey for President elect John Dramani Mahama ho
so about so emphasis so FDC for ho no wo say enya dia wo beti ase enene wo china e fa wo parliamentary results no wenu tin wo strada isi embeye bibi emfa ho ma wo
Bomo Central MP enene ono so akasa se esensem wo etwaguo se wa collapse amiedna kopie hospital no e ya dia no krebia eni
yene nsema hudu obi enene numre ye boabo na ye de ebeso mo e wo Diamond Castle so ye kona na ye dia sida mo Diamond Grand Real Estate, Diamond Grand Travel Enterprise, Ben Light Enterprise.
Breaks and a modest closet.
Hajia's Clay Empire Mestavia Collections.
Groceries, Juanita Lane Enterprise.
The non-suitcase Susana Face the boy fashion jewelry.
Bafi Susana M famous.
And you make way at Daruma and then you make one more a boy in Chidoma. Get a Diamond Cassia ever soon. I can time for AMA. Mouse for your mini.
Happy friend for man.